Hi, my name is Renee Augsburger, and I'm here today to talk to you about the body's balance systems or the systems that you use in your body to help you maintain good balance. So, first of all, let's define what balance is. And balance is described as the ability to distribute your weight over your body to hold a position or move through a position without falling. So it really refers to maintaining your center of gravity over your base of support. Your base of support generally refers to your feet. So you have two types of balance. You have static balance and you have dynamic balance. So static balance helps you stand in an upright position when you are still. This is the type of balance that you use every day in a lot of your daily activities, such as where you're standing there brushing your teeth or you're standing at the sink preparing a meal. Dynamic balance refers to movement. It means that you're able to maintain your center of gravity over your base of support with movement. So that an example of this would be that when you walk, you can still maintain your balance. Or when you do different activities, when you swing a golf club, anything that has movement combined with it, it's you are able to stay stable and keep an upright position and maintain your balance. So when you talk about center of gravity, I want to give you just a little visual using this diagram so that you have a better. It means that you have a center of gravity, and this is the point where your weight is evenly distributed over your base of support. And again, here, meaning your base of support is your feet. So if you look at this first little diagram here, this person standing, you can see that the center of gravity is right over their feet, right between the feet when you stand. So um, center of gravity here helps keep you in that over that base of support, helps keep you in that nice upright position. As you walk, that center of gravity changes a little bit, but it does not move outside of your body. But if you maybe are using a walker and you really change your posture and move not to an upright position anymore. You see how that center of gravity has really moved outside of your body. And here it's not over your base of support anymore. This is where you would lose your balance and have a risk for a fall. The images to the right just show that as you move, your center of gravity moves. But what's important is that you move with a nice upright posture. So there's a lot of systems that are involved in balance, and we're going to go through these individually. So let's start with the brain. So the brain and the spinal cord together form the central nervous system. So part of the brain that oversees balance, that part of the brain is called the cerebellum. And the cerebellum receives information from the nerves that are in the body, from other parts of the brain, but it receives a lot of information that helps control your balance. It can bring up memories of past movements. For example, if you haven't been on a bike a while, right, and you start to get back on the bike, the cerebellum can kind of dust off that old memory and kind of that old adage is you never forget how to kind of ride a bike, right? Get right back on it. But it's true. The brain really does have memories of past events and past movements. The frontal lobe plays a big part in that it may remember something that you have done a long time ago. For example, if you've ever walked on an ice covered street and you start to do that and you start to lose your balance and your foot starts to go out from under you, that cerebellum yells out to the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe says, oh my gosh, I remember I did this 20 years ago in that snowstorm in Boston. I know that I have to take really small steps, kind of shift my weight forward and walk slowly. And you recover from that almost fall. So the brain uses a lot of information from past events and information that it gains from the body as well to send information back out to change your movements and improve your balance at the same time. The spinal cord is the bridge between the brain and the body. It carries information from the brain to the rest of the body. So you can see all the peripheral nerves that exit through the vertebrae. There's two that come out through each vertebrae, one that goes to each side. This is the peripheral nervous system. So what they do is they deliver messages to the muscles that help maybe bend the arm, bend the knee, lift the leg, whatever kind of movement the brain is requesting that needs to be done to help improve your balance. The spinal cord also is a host of reflexes, are really quick automatic responses, such as if somebody comes up and pushes you from behind, you have that quick reflexive step that you take, and that helps you from losing your balance. So those are all really come from the spinal level. The vestibular system is in your ear. It is really three little liquid filled semicircular canals that tell your brain the position of your head. So the fluid moves in the semicircular canals over these little hairs, and when that happens, it sends messages to the brain about the position of the head. So whether you're moving your head, you're rotating your head, you're nodding your head, if you're going up or down in an elevator, that's all information that is picked up by the semicircular canals in the ear. Visual system is very important. It tells you where you are in relation to other objects or maybe danger you're in your environment. If you look at the picture below, if you are hiking and encounter something in the wildlife, your message from your brain would probably go down, okay, I need to be on high alert. I need a really upright, big, tall position. And then I hope that bear turns. And then I am going to contract and move as fastly as I can, contract your muscles and get as quickly as you can out of that environment. If you look at the picture above, by scanning your environment, it really will tell you how you're going to cross the street. Whether you're the only one crossing, you may cross differently than when you're in the crowd of the bustle of people that may be pushing you from side to side. So lastly, well, not lastly, there's a couple more here. We're going to talk about proprioceptors. So proprioceptors tell you position. Really, proprioception is very interesting because it tells you where you are in space. You have these little nerves, and they're really in the muscles and the tendons and the joints. And what they do, they tell you where you are in space, and then that information goes back to your brain. So let's look at the first picture up there. That is a person that is stepping off on the curb. Have you ever stepped off of a curb and it is really deeper or a bigger curb than you anticipated? What happens is as you step down, the proprioceptors are like, wow, that was really bigger. So they react accordingly. They may contract or relax the muscles needed to support yourself so that you don't fall off the curb. The second image would be when you're eating. Generally, you know where your arm is in space. Even if you close your eyes, most likely you could feed yourself. It may be a little messy, but you would probably make it there. But sometimes the weight of the fork, what's on the fork, may change the weight of the fork and how much effort it takes to get it to your mouth. So if you're eating something different than maybe the piece of salad that you normally have on your fork, your elbow may need to contract a little bit more, or your shoulder raise a little bit more in order to get that food to your mouth. But that's all proprioception. That's the proprioceptors, the nerves that tell you where you are in space. So if you didn't know where you were in space, if you didn't know where your arm was, or you didn't know where your leg was, it would be very hard to keep your balance. So don't forget the muscles and the tendons and the bones. They're all part of the system as well. So you have all these receptors that send information back to the up from the brain. It goes back down through the spinal cord, and then there's generally some type of response that is invoked. We're going to use this here, the stimulus of a candle. So when you hover over a candle, or you can even think about stepping on something hot or stepping on something sharp, your immediate response is to lift your finger away. right? Ow. So you've kind of learned that heat is not good or sharp is not good. So that the message up to the brain is ow. The brain says, oh, I know that's hot. That's not good. You should probably not touch that. So what it does, it tells the muscle to contract, the elbow to bend, and that moves your arm away from the stimulus. So all these responses help us to keep our balance when we meet different challenges in our environment. So after a stroke, when you look at all the systems that we talked about, it is highly likely that one or more of those systems have become impaired as a result of that stroke. So it is possible to improve your balance post stroke, but it's also good to work with a trained clinician that can challenge you and can understand what systems are impaired and what systems need to be worked on. So us here at TR Care are trained clinicians, and we are happy to work with you on a balance program that would be designed to best meet your needs, but also most importantly, challenge you and progress you in the safety of your own and convenience of your own home. So thank you very much for your time and look forward to seeing you at TR Care.